Hey, I'm Dr. Jareka Dodd, founder and CEO of Your Pharmacy Advocate and executive editor of PharmaSis Magazine. Have you seen the magazine? All right, that's not why we're here. I am so excited because I get to interview another one of the cover ladies, cover girls. I should call it cover girls, cover ladies, cover women. I get to interview one of the cover girls from the summer 2022 edition of PharmaSis Magazine, Dr. Katashia Kendrick. And, I remember the conversation when I was like, would you be interested in being on the cover? And she was like, oh, well, thank you. And I'm like, no, I really no, I appreciate the gratitude, but I know what I'm doing. I know who I'm picking to be on the cover. This lady is a dynamic woman pharmacist. And if you don't know her, then I don't know why you don't know her. But definitely by the end of the interview, you're gonna get information on how to get in contact with her. And I have to tell you, I am definitely cannot be her mother. But I have like this proud mama moment because she is and was the coaching client of one of my former coaching clients. So like when you see, it's often sometimes as a coach, you don't always get to see the fruit of your labor right away. Sometimes it takes time, but like this lady will always have a top notch in my book because her coach has a top notch in my book. And so I'm just so excited that I get to interview her. So, all right, I know that was a long introduction. Dr. Katashia, welcome, welcome, welcome. How are you?
Hi there. Thank you so much for having me today. I'm still honored. Thank you so much. I'm grateful.
I am so pleased to get to talk to you and let you do some of the talking because I know any of the times we have talked, I just, I'm extrovert and I just talk. And so I'm so glad that we're going to get to hear from you. So tell everyone that might be listening to this either live or on replay, tell them what you've been doing that's been out of the box. And if they're following you or not. If they're not, they're going to want to follow you, and if they're already following you, they're going to want to pay attention. Tell everyone what you do in the realm of building your dreams.
Building my dreams. Man, that's a great question because I never thought I'll be here talking about building my dream, right? I am an integrative health practitioner.
Mhm.
That's a big title for. I am a holistic health coach. I have fallen in love with functional medicine.
Mm.
My own journey, actually. I suffered with IBS-C all of my life, taking a pill for it all of my life. And I literally said, you know what? I can't do this anymore. I can't.
Mhm. Mhm.
In that process, I've suffered with fibroids and endometriosis, and something else was going on. So I actually went down this other road. Not to say I dumped my doctor or anything like that. I just needed to know something else. I had to dig deeper. So went down this road of functional medicine and fell in love with that process. And I'm like, you know what? I need to figure this out and do this for me, for to
Mhm.
help other people going through the same things I'm going through. And so I built Celebrate Health and Wellness Consulting. Celebrate, the name came from celebrating my wins because I literally found out what was wrong with me. And that's where
Mhm.
the name came from. And functional medicine has been that space of the dream that I'm building to understand or digging deeper into good health for my clients.
And tell me, is this something that you imagine like back in pharmacy school and you were like, oh yeah, when I grow up, I'm going to, or is it like, because I find that that's a lot of our stories is it doesn't necessarily come from what we learned in pharmacy school. Usually we've had some kind of bump in the road in our own personal health or life where we're like, okay, I need to, and because we're scientists, we're like, I got to figure this out.
I gotta figure
And
it
then once we figure it out, so I'm assuming that because I don't even know, I know when I was in school, nobody talked about functional medicine. Like, what was that?
No, no way. I in pharmacy school, my goal was to be a specialist, an AM care specialist, and that's what I did. I did 2 years of residency and started clinical services. I did all the things I set out to do. But in
Mhm,
pharmacy school, we did not talk about functional medicine,
mhm,
digging deeper and being investigative the way that I do it now. So
mhm.
no, I have to say no, but it's nothing on part of the pharmacy school. It's just that, outside of pharmacy school, we go and learn more and we go to different places to do that. And that's what I did. I wanted to learn more and understand the why. So for
I
me, I did that.
I really do believe that every pharmacist should have at least, even if it's a little mini training in functional
Oh
medicine,
yeah.
because it really complements what we know and what we've learned, but it also gives a different perspective as well.
Right.
And I think that pharmacists are in such a place to sit in between that Western medicine and that holistic integrative health place, because we know drugs, we know supplements, or we definitely can learn supplements. And I believe that there is no other practitioner, even if they know those two things, that can have the level of understanding that a pharmacist. So you see, I'm all biased
Oh
in this.
yeah. I mean, of
So
course I stand out for sure.
and so, like, I just believe that every pharmacist could use some functional medicine training, even if it's just a mini, because it opens your eyes and you go, oh, because it complements and it challenges all that we already know.
Right. And honestly, I don't fault my providers for not
Yeah.
doing functional medicine for sure. But
Yeah.
to be able to have, you said, to have that additional person in my journey to help
Mhm.
me to understand. Because yes, even though I help other people, I still have my own. So I still
Right.
have my provider in the
Right.
functional medicine space. So I just feel like it's a great compliment to my OB-GYN or my primary care provider, but also I have
Yeah.
this other side to say, oh, you know what, I'm gonna dig deeper. And that's what I want people to know. The world is integrative. Put the
Mhm.
two worlds together because if I'm ran over, a car hit me in my street, take
Right.
me to the emergency room, right?
Absolutely.
There's
Yes.
a place for it. But I
Yeah.
wouldn't say that I have an open mind where I
Right.
know that there's other modalities to heal
Mhm.
yourself, to heal
Yeah.
your body for sure.
Yep. And I also think that when I think of my own journey personally in my health of functional medicine, and then I think of my training in functional medicine, I believe that it was like the next evolution of what was next on my path. I discovered it first as a patient, and
Mhm.
then was like, I want to learn more. And so I think it was just like that next natural step for me, because I ran into some places in my health where I was like, I didn't know what to do. The providers that I had were scratching their heads and weren't really sure what to do either. And so to me, functional medicine helped me to become, I like to say, the CEO of my health. To be
Yeah.
like, okay, I got to get in front of this train because the train was barreling down the tracks. I left my job. And then it was like, okay, somebody's got to get in front. Like, and no particular provider was actually going to take that place. They were definitely, I could have an appointment or whatever, but who was pulling it all together and saying, all right, what are we going to do? And
Right.
so I had to literally become that for myself. Or I don't know. Well, I know that I probably would have never had brain surgery, and that wouldn't have been a good outcome. And so I think for me, functional medicine meant get in charge of your own health.
Right. And I agree. I say that all the time, become the CEO of your health because you
Yeah.
got to advocate for yourself. I mean,
Mhm,
going down the journey for me with infertility,
mhm,
suffering with fibroids and endometriosis, that most definitely opened my eyes
mhm,
because, you go into a situation thinking, okay, I'm trusting my provider, but you most definitely need to do your own research,
mhm.
get that second opinion or even third sometimes to
Right.
understand what's going on. But again, when I have that inner functional medicine space involved, I mean, again, not listening to both and being able to come up with the best decision for me.
Right.
Now I have everything on the table, all my options are here, and now I can make the best informed decision.
All right. So you got in front of your health, got that understanding for yourself. Now you take care of patients yourself in your own business and help them solve their, excuse me, gut health issues. Now I want to ask you, because I think sometimes as pharmacists, because we're so how we think,
Mhm.
that we're like, okay, if I build it, they will come. And so then we build and then we wait. Like the Maytag man, he's just kind of waiting. Right. And you and I know that it doesn't work out like that.
No,
So tell me what it meant. Why did you decide to invest in marketing yourself, which is the whole purpose of PharmaSis Magazine? I mean, and you didn't just say, I know you were like, what, the cover? Because I was like, no, but would you like to? Because to market yourself is something that we also were not trained to do. No
oh,
slight to
no.
pharmacy school. But I mean, they can only teach us what they have time to teach us in the time we're there. So why did that become important for you to market yourself?
Marketing. Never took a marketing class in my life. I want to let you know that. That was not on my radar in college. But when you say investing in myself, literally getting that coach to show me the things I needed to do was
Mhm.
it was overwhelming. I would be transparent for sure. But getting able to get in front of an audience to talk about yourself, like, oh my God, are you serious right now? But coming out of that shell, coming out of that comfort zone
Mhm.
helped me for sure. Now, I am a member of Toastmasters. I love
Mhm.
Toastmasters. And I never thought I went through this championship in 2021. I won, I mean, everything, but I didn't realize that was allowing me to be able to speak
Mhm.
the way I needed to when it came to marketing myself and getting out in front of that crowd to not just tell people who I am, but what I do, and to be able to be relatable, to be that storyteller. That's
Mhm.
what's important, right? Because as a storyteller, you can bring people in from different areas.
Mhm.
I talk about my infertility journey all the time.
Mhm.
I talk about, suffering with the fibroids and endometriosis, IBS, being able to talk or speak about me, but not
Yes.
selling anything, but being able to relate to people because there are some pain points out there that
Mhm.
you can hit and you didn't realize that.
Mhm.
Because even with me talking about, I mentioned infertility,
Mhm.
never in a million years I would tell anyone that at the age of 38 that I had a hysterectomy because I was suffering from fibroids and endometriosis and I was devastated. I was
Mhm.
hurt, or talking about issues with IBS. Those things um, people will consider private, right?
Right.
Private.
Mhm.
Oh no, don't you talk about that. My grandma will probably roll over a couple of times knowing that I'm talking about this.
Yes. Yes.
But it's a it's my way to release. It's
Mhm.
therapy for me. And I know there's other people out there listening and can relate to it, and I can be able to help them through that. So marketing, I realize it's a hard area to market yourself is difficult, but
Mhm.
being yourself in that space is what's important. And that's what I learned, to be myself, let my light shine, let
Yes.
me be able to talk about the things that are important to me. And from there, the clients will come. So that's my
Absolutely.
goal, just to be myself, tell my story, and they will come.
And it believe it or not, and I really I hear people who tend to be introverted say, "Oh, that was
I'm an
really tough."
introvert. I'm shy.
But it's difficult for the extroverted people too, because before I learned how to tell my story, I didn't just walk around saying, "Let me tell you." I mean, that just wasn't part
Right.
of my normal conversation. So I really believe that it's whether we're introverted or extroverted, because I don't have a problem talking, but it wasn't that I was just going around and telling my story. But what I realized once I learned to tell my story, because I used to think that my story was that I had brain surgery and that, and I realized that that's really not my story. My story was that I didn't prioritize myself. So all the things that were plaguing me health wise were a manifestation or a display of what was going on in my life, behind the scenes, what have you, of not prioritizing me. That was the physical manifestation of it. And it was like, well, doggone. And so just learning that my story has, I mean, whether, and people have asked me, well, which story do you tell? I tell the same story because I'm the same person. So literally, it doesn't matter if I'm talking to pharmacy students, if I'm talking to pharmacists, pharmacy technicians, women in business in general who are not in a healthcare field. It doesn't matter if I'm talking to retired elderly men, I would still tell the same story because and your story is like, it's priceless because it's the one thing that nobody else, even if they had similar circumstances, nobody else has that same story. And it allows people, it's very disarming when you tell your story, like the walls come down and then people are already willing to talk to us as pharmacists. I have this saying, I was like, people love to tell me their pharmacy related story, just like patients in general. I walked into a conference to speak, and once they realized that I was there and they, got me signed in, this lady was like, let me tell you, my daughter was in a car accident and they put her on this medication and this medication. I didn't even know this lady or her daughter. People open up to us as pharmacists. So imagine the power. This is for those analytical thinkers who are like, why would I tell my story? Imagine the power, and that we already are trusted because people tell us stuff anyway about their health as pharmacists. Imagine pharmacists telling their stories, which is the other reason why PharmaSis Magazine was created. I wanted to have a place where women could share their story and not necessarily, because we have the journals out there that are showing you how to and giving you, therapeutic knowledge. But I wanted a place where women could be seen for who they are. That's it. That's simple. I wanted a place where women and a platform where they could share their stories, because if you knew how many people who will see this interview, who 2 years from now will see this interview and go, oh, I can relate to IBS. Oh my gosh. One, I want to get in touch with her. Two, okay, I can do this. Like, you never know the people that you're touching because you are willing to tell your story.
Just to open up and honestly, just being yourself. But again, it takes some time. I always tell people, tell your story when you're ready.
Yes.
But my time, that was my time and it's my time. And so I'm telling my story because I didn't realize so many other people are going through the things that I was going through.
Right.
And like I said, it's all connected with the endometriosis and the gut health. All that goes together. So that's why I'm out telling my story.
Yes. And I have seen your social media where you show kind of a before and after of your journey. Looking fine now. I said, go girl. So
whenever 100 pounds. No.
Whenever I see you, I'm cheering. And I try to show support and comment, or at least, like or heart or whatever, because I'm cheering in that she's sharing her story. I'm cheering for you, and also cheering for, because you in the types of journeys that we're in. And I know that when we took our oaths to be pharmacists, we could have never imagined where that road would lead us. Really, I know I didn't. And so I'll tell you that there are so many people who are going to benefit that you may never even hear of, you may never even know. And so that's why I always have that kind of proud mama moment when I get to see you doing what you're doing, because and I would imagine, the person who coached me has those moments in seeing all these women come on this platform that I have, either coached or had in the magazine or what have you, because I really do believe that we get to a point in our lives and our careers where it's like this, what else would I be doing other than helping someone else come along and do whatever it is they're called to do?
I mean, it's amazing. And to know the coach that I started off with, she came from, you birthed her.
She was in the magazine as well. Like I will never, I know that, we don't have Dr. Kareem with us here, but I just had Dr. Pauline last week and us talking, and I don't know if they even know how much that group of ladies me, like they will always have a special place because those were the ladies who took this crazy Jerika who had this wild idea to publish a magazine. Like, you know what I mean? I was like, I'm like, so I have this idea and I think I want to have a magazine and you want to be in it? And they were kind of like, yeah. And I know that they were like, what is she talking about? What is she doing? I'm like, okay, get all your pictures and oh my gosh, like I never could have imagined. And so I'm honored. Every woman who says yes to me, including you, to be in the magazine, I know that you all say thank you to me and I appreciate that.
Of course.
But I also thank you because, like, even though, you know, I had this wild and crazy idea 3 years ago, to some, it's still a wild and crazy idea. But, and you know, before we went live, I shared you what my new wild and crazy idea is. So yes, I want you to be a part of that too. But like, there's something about when you can be amongst people and say, hey, this is the vision I have. And to have people who don't know if it'll work or not sure how it will work out, but say, you know what, I'll go with you on that.
Baby,
That
I
means
believe in you. Most definitely, I believe in you. And so those are people, in your circle, because
right,
even though you're not seeing it, they most definitely see the vision. Because when
right,
we talked
right.
before this, I saw it all. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's gonna be awesome.
All right, wait. So I gotta show you. So we got a couple people who have weighed in with some comments. So this is Dr. Marshana Smith, the guest, and she said, "I love this." So I'm grateful, Dr. Marshana, that you're watching. And then my girl who was just here last week,
Leslie,
not Leslie. Leslie's not on, but
oh,
Pauline saw us, and so she just left a comment as well. I tell you what, Pauline has a front row seat. I think Pauline first, and then you second. Y'all got front row seats to the lives because I can definitely count on when I go live with anybody. One or both of you are going to chime in. So I appreciate that. And I don't know, Leslie might be teaching right now because she has her new institute for the pharmacy technician. So she may be in class right now, but I always love to share the comments. I had to tease Dr. Pauline last week. We had to stop sharing the comments because she was so like distracted by them. And so here is Nikita who says, thank you. You all are speaking my truth. I truly appreciate you. Appreciate this. So thank you
yeah.
for all the people who are putting in comments. And I'm grateful to, hi, Dr. Riley. We're glad that you're with us as well. She gave you a hello earlier. You were talking.
I want to say, did I meet Angela this weekend? Okay, that's another story, but yeah.
You're like, hey, did I meet you before? And get in our DMs, Dr. Riley. And then we have tickled Pauline Pink. And so, all right, maybe we've tickled her a shade of red.
Shade
But
of red, a shade of red.
we've tickled her intensified pink. Um, so we will keep our conversation going. So Dr. Katashia, tell me, like, what's been the most exciting part? So I know obviously we talked about how we got to this place in our health and we've had to like figure some things out, and then we're like, okay, well, I can help other people now. So, and I get that, but tell me what's been the most fun part of doing this part of your journey in your career and your life.
Wow. The fun part.
Because if it's not fun, then we just need to go home. We got to pack it up and go home if it's not fun.
No. Getting to see, the first thing I want to say is getting to see the progress, the growth in me, because I never thought, like I said, I would be here to do this. Being able to see the growth, saying, you know what, I'm not going to do this, wanting to quit, and now keep moving, keep going, and seeing it happen. This summer, I went to a conference. I went to an integrative health practitioners conference,
Okay.
and one of the organizers reached out to me and said, hey, I want to reach out to one of your clients and have her speak about you on the screen, big screen. I'm like, are you sure? I'm like, okay. And I had no idea what she was going to say. And she actually decided to do it. When I get to the conference, it was the opening video, right? of the
Ah.
conference. And
Mhm.
I'm watching this video of my client, and then, I had my picture saying client of Katashia Kendrick,
Mhm.
and the things that she said, I started crying in the conference because it allowed me, even though I was crying, but it was fun because all that hard work, and I saw her on the screen, and she was crying, saying, "I thank
Mhm.
her because I didn't know what was going on. My back was against the wall, and I went to her because I saw her on social media."
Mhm.
So I must say the growth in myself is really fun to see, but also to see the lives that I'm changing. Because
Mhm.
again, people, when they think of functional medicine, they're like, what is that? What exactly is going on here? But to
Right.
know there are people who they have an open mind and
Mhm.
being able um to have those different modalities enter into their healthcare is
Mhm.
like wow. And to be
Right.
that person to show them that's been it makes me smile just thinking about it. Because I was one of those people. Like, what
Mhm.
is that? What is fine? And to be able to be a part of it has
Right.
most definitely changed my life. And to be able to go back and talk to my coach, like I said, I talked to her just a couple hours ago, to still reach back to the people who've helped me because they've been through that and
Mhm.
knowing that this is just the beginning
Mhm.
and just look forward, like you have visions of things you want to do, just to be able to look forward and see the things I want to do because I never thought about doing any of this in pharmacy school. My goal was to be a specialist and that's it. But this has opened my heart and my mind to other things. That's what's so exciting about it, that this is just the beginning. It's so much more that I want to do.
And it's why I say that that's why I asked that question, because I know how we think as healthcare professionals and specifically as pharmacists. We put our head down, and once you give us a task, like we are going for it. Like we're head down, we're the best worker bees you could have if we truly, buy into the mission. And so I think it's so important to capture those moments, those little glimpses, those little blinks and nods and glimmers that you get amongst all the hard work.
Right.
Because I think that people think that we are just, sitting back and eating bonbons and it never rains in our life. I just shared with you, I had a failure this morning. I was like, all right, let's regroup, let's get back together. And so literally, I think that sometimes people tend to romanticize, and social media definitely
Okay.
does a part of that. But if they really knew that we're behind the scenes with our head down, that we are working, that we are like, making it happen, it's why I say that's why I asked that question about, well, tell me about a fun time,
Yes.
because we will miss it if we're not careful and because we're so focused on getting the work done. So those moments where you have a client that is on the screen at a conference and you're like, wow, she is talking about me. Those moments are like priceless because they may not necessarily happen every day, but when they do, it gives you a time to step back and go,
And
I am doing my thing, and I am touching people, and I am impacting lives. And
right.
so that is very, very important, and that is a good thing. That's exciting. So I'm glad to hear that. Tell me, what is coming next for you? What's next for Dr. Katashia?
Wow. What's coming next? I invested in myself. And like I said, I'm a member of Toastmasters, but I also wanted to go deeper. I wanted to be able to speak on bigger platforms. And so I got a
Oh,
public speaking coach. And she pushed me out of my comfort zone and she wanted me to write a book. I'm like, I'm not an author. What are you
mhm,
talking about?
mhm,
But
mhm,
I did. And so it's just my story. It's just a little bit of what I've gone through over the last several years dealing with infertility and endo and fibroids and IBS and functional medicine, grief. I mean, all those things. And so I
mhm.
wrote a book and it's actually coming out December 12th. Um,
So in a couple weeks. Okay, okay. You definitely okay, so we need to like have you come back and do another interview so like you can have the book and you can oh yeah, this is good.
it's
This is
the ebook. I can't believe it's here. So December 12th. So you'll see me talking about it. Right now it's on pre-order for $2.99. I mean, it's
okay.
$2.99, but the price will go up.
Because
But
it's valuable.
yeah, but the title is called Celebrate Your Good. It's my ultimate wellness journey. So it's
Okay.
basically talking about what I went through over the last several years.
Okay. All right. All right.
December
So
12th on
I'm
Amazon.
okay. Thank you for letting me know that. I am definitely going to you please don't hesitate to if there's something that you can send me that I can share, please
Most definitely.
don't hesitate to send it out and we can definitely do another live so that you know if you want to talk more about it and share it you can because look you've already got your cheering section here so definitely I know that our audience wants to hear about the book as well. All right, Dr. Katasha, tell me what is the one way that people can get in contact with you? Because I know after they see this, they're going to want to congratulate you and be like, oh my gosh, I saw your interview. And then they're going to be people who have never met you before, which is my goal, is for people to be like, oh, I want to know her. And I want them all lined up in the same place. So, what's the one way that people can reach out and connect with you so that you're not overwhelmed by all of the outlets? They can just be in single file line in one place.
Well, I just dropped my website about a month ago or 2 months ago. Is drkatashia.com.
Okay.
And most definitely the best place to reach out to me. You can send me a message there or an email. All that information is at my website, drkatashia.com.
All right. Let me see if I can get that up really quick. I wish that I had um, gotten that together before we got started. So I'm gonna put, and there's no period.
No, just drkatashia.com. Same on
Uh,
Instagram, Dr. Katashia.
all right. So let me put that here, and that way we can. Oh, did I? See, I didn't do it. That's what happens when you try to do a live and then type something in the chat. Okay, I think I got it right this time.
Okay.
So tell me, did I get that?
That is correct.
All
That is
right.
correct.
So the best way to connect with Dr. Katashia is go to drkatashia.com. Make sure you get that spelling right. drkatashia.com. And there is a way for you to connect with her and contact her from her website.
Yes.
And I am just so honored that I got to sit down and have a conversation with you. I know that we don't get to talk often, but as you said earlier, it feels like we do. And so
We're best friends.
we're best friends. I'm grateful. I'm grateful. Thank you for saying yes to me, saying yes to PharmaSis Magazine. You know, lady, we made history. And I count every issue of that magazine as historical because, you know, however long the magazine is in existence, yeah, that at that for that issue you were the cover girl, so thank you for that. And you know me, as I said before, those pictures have a way of finding their way to different things that I need to publish about the magazine. So you will see them for years to come. You'll be like, oh my gosh, that was 2 years ago. So don't be shocked when you look up and see yourself again, because there are times when we use all the all the previous covers. There are times when we use pictures for different things. So I'm grateful to have you amongst the women that we have featured, and just excited for what's coming next for your journey, what has happened and then what is coming. And I pray that you embrace it with open arms and enjoy the ride.
Well, thank you so much. And again, I can't say thank you enough. I mean, just thank you for the opportunity. Thank you. I just thank God for having us cross paths. So I am very grateful to have to have you in my life and to be a part of the PharmaSis family. Thank you
Yes,
so much.
yes, yes. And stay tuned for more to come because, like I said, like I shared my idea with you earlier, it is. I love being able to sit and have those visionary moments where I go, okay, what's next? Because I really do think that you would be amazed at what a woman pharmacist can create, and I think that pharmacist women are beautiful, bold, and brilliant. And so every time I get the opportunity to shine light on the women in PharmaSis Magazine, it is truly my joy.
Oh,
All right. Well, thank you so much. Let's see. We got one more comment. Angela is also in our cheering section. So thank you, Angela. And I think she said somewhere earlier, because you said, did I meet you this weekend? I think she was saying yes to that. So,
okay.
so now you all can connect again.
I'm not sure
But
the promises. Okay.
uh-huh. So it is my pleasure again to have had you today, and thank you, and I can't wait to see what's next. So promise you'll come back when
Of
your book
course.
is ready so we can talk about that,
Of course.
and we will have even more fun when we do it again.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye.